What is going on, guys? What's poppin'? So today we are going to do the NFL Week 9 matchups. Then I'm going to go back. I'm going to talk about how Week 8 went and some of the ones I got right, some of the ones I got wrong. And before I get started, though, I want to talk a little bit about if you're here from Snapback Sports on the Flick app. First off, I just want to say I'm one of the new moderators, and I'm going to be providing content as well. So I might be doing some write-ups, polls, other kind of sort of things, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know the community better, that sort of thing. So welcome if you are, and if you're not from Snapback or from Flick, then I definitely urge you to download the Flick app. It's basically this brand new big social media platform, kind of like Facebook, but it's just for sports. So it's pretty awesome, and definitely follow Snapback on that app. It's a great sports group, great community. We're going to be talking about basketball, football, the NFL, college football, all sorts of sports from around the world. So it's a great group. Now, I'm going to go and get started. And the first game we have on the schedule was Thursday Night Football, and it was the Green Bay Packers at the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I'm not going to lie and cheat. I'm filming this video at Friday at 3 o'clock, and I didn't make a prediction for that game, or I didn't write one down, so I'm not going to count that game for or against this week for me. But I will say that Aaron Rodgers looked really good. I didn't get to watch a lot of the game, unfortunately. I did get to moderate the game thread on Snapback, so I did hear a little bit about it, and I was trying to watch it on someone's phone, that sort of thing, but anyways, the Packers won, obviously. I think it was like 34-17, something along those lines. I know the 49ers had Nick Mullins, so it was a rough day for them. We're going to go and move on. Denver Broncos at the Atlanta Falcons. And, guys, this might be the first time this year, I feel like, that I think I'm going to pick the Atlanta Falcons to win. I just think they have the better quarterback, the more high-powered offense, and I think the Broncos, they're pretty good defensively, but they're going to struggle to put up points. And I think Atlanta's actually going to put up some points, and despite, how bad they've struggled this season, I think they're going to get a win. Seattle Seahawks at the Buffalo Bills. So, guys, this is one of the more exciting games this week, I think. The Bills have been struggling a little bit. I noticed that they got a lot of defensive backs that are injured. They're lacking some depth there. They went out and picked up Dale Worley, a guy that my Dallas Cowboys just released like a week ago. And I got to tell you, Dale Worley's not a very good defensive back. I saw a little more out of him that I liked at safety. He just doesn't move his hips well enough, and he's not quick and fast enough to play cornerback and defensive back in the NFL. So if he's going to be playing big minutes, then Russell Wilson, or big snaps, then Russell Wilson's just going to eat him for lunch, and he's going to get him and Lockett and Metcalf. Those guys are going to go off. I'm definitely picking the Seahawks to win this one, although the Bills are a good team. If they can just get it together, figure out what's going on with them. I think they're just lacking some depth there on defense, and it's hurting them right now. So next, we got the Baltimore Ravens at the Indianapolis Colts. And this should be another pretty decent game, but I'm definitely picking the Colts to lose, I should say. I'm picking the Ravens to win. I went out last night, so give me a little break if I'm a little all over the place today. But yeah, I think the Ravens are definitely the better team, although they did lose to the Steelers last week. I think it was a pretty decent showing. I mean, the Steelers are a really good team. I actually picked the Ravens to win, but they didn't. I think they're definitely going to come back and beat the Colts this week. Next, we have the Houston Texans at the Jacksonville Jaguars, the long storied rivalry over there in Houston and Jacksonville, right? So this game is in Duval and Jacksonville, but I just don't think that the Jags have the defense or the firepower on offense to beat Houston right now. If anything, I think Deshaun Watson's just probably going to be the most talented player at that game, and he's going to do enough to win, although I'm not very high on the Texans right now either. But I am going to pick them to beat the Jags. Next, we have the Carolina Panthers at the Kansas City Chiefs. And, guys, this one's fairly easy, but I feel like it might be a decent game. It depends what Panthers team shows up, because they're a well-coached team under new rookie head coach Matt Rule from Baylor. And I think he's going to be a star. I know they got Christian McCaffrey coming back, but they got a couple guys out, so it'll be interesting. But I think the Chiefs definitely probably take this one handedly. And next we have the Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings. And I went back and forth with this one a couple times. I do think Matt Stafford is going to play. He was questionable. And I'm actually still going to pick the Vikings to win. You know, they look pretty good against A-Rod and the Packers. Actually, I'd say they looked really good. I mean, they made the Packers look bad last week. I'm not convinced that the Vikings are a good team. But Dalvin Cook is so good, he might just take over that game. Don't count out Matt Stafford if he plays, but I do think the Vikings are going to pull away with this one. Next, we got the Chicago Bears at the Tennessee Titans. And this is another tough one for me. I'm picking the Titans to win just because I think that Bears offense might be a little stagnant. Titans went out and got, what's his name? Is it Desmond King, the defensive back from the Chargers? I can't think of his name to save my life. It might be Desmond King. But pretty good defensive back, just a good depth piece. I think that should help their secondary a little. I know they still have some issues on defense, but I think that's going to tie them over for now and probably be good enough to get a win. I know they have a tough schedule coming up, but then it ends a little easier, I think. So then we have the New York Giants at the Washington football team, and I'm picking the Washington football team just because I think they're going to split the series. The Giants won like 19-20 last time they played Washington. I do think the Giants are playing a little bit better right now than Washington is. I just kind of see the Giants offense struggling against that Washington defensive line. And like I said, I think the series is going to split. So I'm picking Washington to win. And next we have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Los Angeles Chargers. So two teams in their new home. I'm picking the Raiders to win. I believe my best pick last week was the Raiders over the Browns. And I ended up getting that one right. And I think the Raiders are going to continue their marginal success this season. And they're going to get the win at Los Angeles. So next we have the Miami Dolphins at the Arizona Cardinals. And I think the Dolphins won last week, right? Tua got his first start, I believe. I think he's going to be starting again. So will we see some Tua magic like we did at Alabama? I don't know. I think the Cardinals are just the better team. So are they that much better? Nah, I don't know. I think they definitely have a little more talent, a lot more weapons. So I'm going to pick the Cardinals to win this one at home. Then we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Dallas Cowboys. And so if you are from Snapback Sports, I'm a Dallas Cowboys YouTuber, a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan. I was born and raised in Texas. I don't live there now, but I still love my Cowboys, right? So I did a preview of this game with JT Sports, who's an NFL YouTuber, as well as a big-time Steelers fan. And I thought that video was awesome. That got posted Friday morning. So definitely go check out that preview if you want to hear more about that game. I'm picking the Steelers to win, obviously. My Cowboys are sucking right now. It will be interesting to see who the starting quarterback is. Yeah, if it's Cooper Rush, who did have that one first good preseason his first year with Dallas, but obviously it didn't work out. A few years, he regressed each season, got cut. And then there's Garrett Gilbert, who played under Coach Steve Spurrier from South Carolina Gamecocks, from the Florida Gators, and the AAF under the Orlando Apollos. So Gilbert was one of the bright spots in the AAF. Quarterback play wasn't very good, but it was from Garrett Gilbert. So maybe that experience, just playing at a somewhat high level for a season, helped him. It's going to be tough to say because we really haven't seen anything from him in the NFL. I think he's taken like 6 snaps in his career. So I'm definitely picking the Steelers to win this one. They're just the better team. We don't have, even with Andy Dalton, I don't think we have much of a chance. With Garrett Gilbert or Cooper Rush, that's going to be marginally worse. Obviously, Ben DiNucci got benched, so that's that. Then the final game is the New Orleans Saints at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's going to be a fun one, right? So we get Brady and Drew Brees. And guys, I'm taking Brady and the Buccaneers. I just love this Tampa team this year for some reason. Maybe I just like the idea of Brady not being in New England anymore, being in Florida with Gronk and those guys. I just think that's awesome. So I'm picking the Bucs to win. Now I'm going to go through last week. And before you think that I just completely suck at these predictions, I only got one wrong the week before. I got like 2 wrong the week before that, like 2 or 3 wrong 3 weeks ago. So like I was doing really well. And then this week I think I went 7-5. So I almost went 500. Pretty bad. But we'll go over what I got right, what I got wrong real quick. So the Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers. I picked the Panthers to win that one, and they didn't. So I was a bit surprised, but the Falcons look decent. The Panthers look bad, and I'm not too mad about getting that one wrong. I think if they played again today, I'd still pick the Panthers to win. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. So that was probably a bad pick because the Steelers are probably the best team in the NFL right now. I mean, they remain the only undefeated team as of now. I know the Kansas City Chiefs have one loss. I think the Ravens have one or two or three. But yeah, the Ravens were just not quite good enough. I didn't get to watch the game. From what I understand, it was a really close game. It came down to the wire. So if they play each other again, which they do, who knows? Maybe it'll go the other way next time. I was wrong about that. That put me at 0-2. So the Indianapolis Colts beat the Detroit Lions. I was on the fence about that game, but I think it was like pretty handily. It was like 40-20 or something. I got that one right. I picked the Colts, and that put me at 1-2. Then the Vikings beat the Packers. So I'm not mad I got that wrong. I'd pick the Packers over the Vikings every time. They just happened to be the better team that day. The Vikings did. And that put me at 1-3. So that game kind of screwed me. Then the Patriots lost to the Bills. I believe that was a very close game. I did pick the Bills to win. They didn't look as good as I thought they would. But that did put me at 2-3, so I'll take it. Bills hopefully start winning some games. Tennessee Titans at the Cincinnati Bengals. So that one screwed me too. So I went on Titan Uploads channel, a big Tennessee Titans YouTuber, and we did the post-game show. And I think he was hoping that it would be this big win, somewhat easy game, and then, have somebody on with an outside perspective as a Cowboys fan to talk about how the Titans are looking and that sort of thing. And while the video turned out great, I don't think the game went the way that Titan Upload or I thought it would. So it was disappointing to see Tennessee struggle so much against the Bengals. But, the Bengals aren't a bad team. I know they're, 2-5, but they might be the best 2-5 team in the NFL. I mean, look at other 2-win teams. The Dallas Cowboys absolutely suck. And I can say that as a Cowboys fan. We just don't play up to our potential. I think the Bengals are starting to play pretty well for what they have. The Las Vegas Raiders at the Cleveland Browns. I already called this one. I picked the Raiders to win. Looking back, I was saying that it might have been a bad pick at the time, but turns out I was right. They won like 16-6. Must have been kind of an ugly game, but nevertheless, that puts me at 3-4. The Jets at Kansas City. Kansas City obviously won. That was the easiest pick for me this week. Anytime the Jets are playing, I always pick them to lose, pretty much. And Kansas City usually is going to win. So that was a super easy pick, right? That puts me at 4-4. New Orleans beating the Bears puts me at 5-4. That was a close game. So that New Orleans somehow came up with that one. That put me at 5-4. I picked the 49ers to beat the Seahawks. I don't know that I knew how many guys the 49ers had out right now. So I definitely should have picked the Seahawks. That's probably my worst pick of the week. I mean, it's not like they destroyed them, but they were clearly the better team. So that put me at 5-5. Dallas Cowboys at Philadelphia Eagles. I did pick the Eagles to win, and the Cowboys showed a little fight, but it was an ugly game with two pretty bad teams. Somewhat of a defensive battle. I was very impressed with the Cowboys' defense. I'm not saying it was that the Philadelphia has this all-world offense, but I mean, defense just played well. They got 4 turnovers. And they fought and they kept us in the game, and the offense failed us. But nevertheless, put me at 6-5. And the final game, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New York Giants. Man, what was going on there? So Daniel Jones, despite not having a great season, he almost got it done against Tampa in New York, but he didn't. And luckily he didn't, because that put me at 7-5. And it's always good to see a division rival lose in the New York Giants. So, guys, that's pretty much going to do it for today. If you're new here, make sure you smash that subscribe button for some more daily Dallas Cowboys content. Also, going to have the weekly picks every week, obviously. And don't forget to leave a like and a comment as well. And I'm out. Peace.